Batman 2 is completely changing according to Warner Bros. The movie has been delayed multiple times and it has already been 3 years since the release of the first film. The Batman Part 2 now has a release date of 2027. That will be a 5-year gap between the two films, which is getting fans impatient along with the lead actor Robert Pattinson. But now we are finally getting some news about the movie before they begin filming. The first update about the film that we have gotten from Warner Bros. Is a title change. The first movie was called The Batman, and the sequel was originally called The Batman Part 2, but now it is just being known as Untitled Batman Film. I'm wondering if certain plot changes and villains that are taking place in this movie is affecting the title change. There must be something engaging to Batman comic book fans that is making them need a title change. They kept the first title simple, but as we see with superhero movies, they tend to make the title related to an old comic or villain that the hero will be facing in the movie. So maybe they are waiting to reveal their villain for the movie within the title, as they officially haven't announced a villain yet. Another update we got about the film from Warner Bros. Themselves that might help us narrow down who the villain is the fact that they changed the genre of the film. The first Batman film was labeled as an action-adventure, but the sequel is now labeled as an action, adventure, sci-fi, and fantasy. That must mean that the sequel will introduce some fantastical elements to the film. The first movie was very grounded, and it was seen as a detective film to stop a serial killer known as the Riddler. But it sounds like they are moving a little bit away from that, as the villain must be on the techie or power-based side if the genre will be listed as sci-fi and fantasy. We do know there are plenty of Batman characters that can fall under this category, so let's run through a few of the possibilities. The first potential villain they can lean to is Poison Ivy. She has been seen in past Batman movies and shows, while having an even more popular brand to her name, as she is a lead character in the popular Harley Quinn show. She has powers to control plants, which will lead away from a normal human-based villain. The next option is Mr. Freeze. He also appeared in many movies and shows, with his conditions and research revolving heavily around science. A third option is Clayface. He is a shape-shifting character that will serve heavily into the detective theming of Matt Reeves' Batman, as shape-shifting can cause many complications into an investigation. There are many more possibilities, but I feel like these would be the most probable options to see enter this universe, as the first movie has already established a grounded tone. So I wouldn't expect to see anything or anybody that would fall deep into the category of magic or supernatural. Even though I think it would be cool to eventually see Zatanna make her way into a live-action DC movie at some point, with the many delays and light reports on details for the film, that is due to Matt Reeves taking his time to perfectly craft a story that plays off the events from the first film and the TV show The Penguin. From Matt Reeves' description, because of the unrest and corruption that takes place in the second film from the effects of the first film's ending, it changes Batman's views on everything. Batman used to see everything black and white, but he might get a new perspective, as everything might not be as simple as that. Even though it has been a long wait, production for this film will begin later this year. And with the start of production is when we usually start to get more news and details for the film. So leave a comment down below on who you would like to see as the villain for the sequel. Also subscribe to stay up to date on more DC news.